Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream on the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast. It's been a while since we've gone live, and we're live to pretty much summarize what's happened on day one of this first Ashes test from Perth between Australia and England. And boy, what a crazy day it has been. 19 wickets fell on day one. England batted first. They were bowled out for under 200. Australia 9 down at stumps for 120 odd. And it's not even the end of this first test match. It's only day one of 5. We may not even get to a day 5. And this series has started in the way that we expected. High octane cricket and excitement all round. And boy, if we're going to have 25 days of this, then I probably won't make it until the end of the series. I'm absolutely knackered after watching one day of cricket. So I'm, trying to get the energy levels up. But joining me is our good friend, as always, Jihan. It's always a pleasure to have you on, Jihan, either episodes or live streams that we do. It's good to have you back for this live stream, summarizing day one. Welcome back, Jihan, and great to have you on as always.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I wasn't actually at day one, but I have tickets to day 2 and day 3. So, yeah, we'll see how things go. But to be honest, I don't think it's looking too good for Australia at the moment.
Well, no, it's quite an interesting day of cricket. And as I said, 19 wickets fell on day one, which is something that you probably would have seen last summer with India in that test match. 16 wickets fell on day one of that
17
test.
It was, yeah.
So the same thing has happened again for this first Ashes test. And a bit of a quick summary of what happened today. England won the toss. Ben Stokes said, we'll have a bat first, which was a bit of a rarity from Ben Stokes. He likes to bowl first. But he said, we'll have a bat on what looked like to be a very good Perth surface. Unfortunately, didn't quite go to plan. Zach Crawley was out in the first over. Who by? Mitchell Starc. Not a surprise. He picked up 7 wickets for 58 in 12.5 overs. Career best figures for Mitchell Starc and over 100 Ashes wickets as well. Harry Brook top scored with 52. Then Ollie Pope chipped in with 46. And then a 33 from the wicketkeeper Jamie Smith. But England slumped to 172 all out in 32.5 overs. Mitchell Starc, the best of the Australian bowlers, was 758. And then Brendan Doggett, the debutant, picked up 2 wickets and then a wicket for Cameron Green. And that's how Australia went about their bowling performance. Nathan Lyon only bowled a couple of overs, and Scott Boland bowled 10 overs. Wasn't quite at his best today, none for 62, unlike Scott Boland. So that's pretty much how Australia went about their business, and England went about their business with the bat. And then it was over to Australia with the batting side of things. A bit of chaos, Jihan, it would have to be said. Usman Khawaja didn't open the batting because he was off the field. So he had to make up the time that he spent off the field before he can open the batting. So it was Jake Weatherald and Marnus Labuschagne who opened the batting. And unfortunately for Jake Weatherald, on test debut, we got out LBW to Jofra Archer for a duck. And that was second ball of the first over of the innings. And then that really set the tone for Australia to slump to 9 for 123 at stump on day one after 39 overs, trailing by 49 runs behind England. And the bowlers for England, Ben Stokes picked up 5 wickets. Was that a bit of a sign of things to come? He picked up 6 wickets in the tour match against the England Lions. And he picked up 5 wickets here. 5 for 23 for him from 6 overs with a maiden. 2 wickets each for Archer and Bryden Cass. Gus Atkinson and Mark Wood bowled some overs, but they weren't really required, really, in the end. And their workloads are not as big and not as draining as you would expect. So that's pretty much what happened, really, for those who didn't capture the match in a nutshell. And craziness, chaoticness, and just mind-boggling cricket, Jihan, I think. As I said earlier in the opener to this live stream, if we're going to have 24 more days of this, I'm absolutely knackered and I won't survive until the end of the series. My nerves are shot and my anxiety is through the roof. But An exciting
Well,
day's play.
You
Of
won't
cricket.
get You won't get 24 more days of 19 wickets to take.
No, I don't think you will. I think some people have said, I don't think the series will go the full 25 days in total. With the way that this series has gone in terms of the pace on day one. But nonetheless, it's entertaining, nonetheless, Jihan. But your thoughts on the day? What are your quick thoughts, Jihan? Overall thoughts on the day? How would you assess both teams' performances? I think we know what you're going to say about Australia, but
I'm very disappointed with how Australia went today, particularly with the bat. I think the toss was an interesting one. I thought whoever was going to bowl first would have the advantage, and I think that's still probably true looking at what happened today. And Ben Stokes is someone that tends to bowl first anyway, because they have that theory about chasing the fourth innings. So I was a little bit surprised when he won the toss that he batted first. But I wasn't disappointed by that. Like, from the Australian perspective, I thought it was a good chance to get into them, which they actually did. But I think to be honest, it was. I really had deja vu from last year against India. It was so similar to what happened on day one in Perth last year. 17 wickets were taken that day, 19 today. And I think India got 150, England got 172. Australia bowled. They did bowl well. Stark in particular, 7 wickets. That was Stark at his best. Is that the best figures he's had in a innings in a Test match?
I believe so. I'll have a quick look at that, Jihan. You keep talking, and I'll get back to you on that.
I can't remember a haul that has been better than that. So to be honest,
let's cut you off there, Jihan. Sorry. Yes, he got 6 for 9, which was against the West Indies, as we would remember when he bowled well. So today is his best figures in Test cricket: 7 for 48.
So this was his 7th for
Yeah.
So that was I guess he had
and his 17th fifer in Test match cricket.
Right.
As well.
So I guess he had to stand up with Josh Hazelwood and Pat Cummins not being, not playing. And for a while there, because Scott Boland really didn't get it right today. I don't know what he was doing. He bowled a lot of half volleys, a lot of rubbish. It took him he really didn't get it right. And Brendan Dockett, initially, I was watching him bowl and thought, maybe he's not up to the standard of like a Hazelwood or a Cummins. But to be fair to him, he kept persisting and he got the breakthroughs. But I think what was frustrating for me was Ollie Pope and
Harry Brook.
Harry Brook, both of them got towards 50 from their baseball nonsense. It came off, both of them got out. But the thing is, like, if you're scoring runs in that time, it doesn't really matter if you get out, especially like on a day where 19 wickets fall. If you're able to get quite a few boundaries away and get to 50, that's actually a good score.
When they came together, Joe Root just fell, and there were 3 for 39 at that stage, England. And then when Pope got out, there were 4 for 94, and they put on a quick-fire partnership of.
Well, I think this is the difference in mentalities between the two teams.
Yes.
England, even when they're losing wickets, after a while they're like, we're going to keep attacking. We'll get some boundaries away. Okay, you might get us out. You might get a wicket here, but we've got someone else who's going to come in and do the same thing.
Well, they added 55 for that for that fourth wicket off 68 balls.
Yeah, I mean, and that sort
that
of partnership is those partnerships are crucial. And when you watched Australia batting, they were going nowhere. Like Marnus and Smith together, and I thought Marnus.
We got to bear in mind that the order was changed around as well. They weren't batting in their normal positions because of the absence of Usman Khawaja when he was off the field. So Marnus had to open and do that role, which was, something that he wasn't going to do in this Test match. There was talk about it, but he ended up doing it in the end because of that reason. But I suppose in that situation of the game was just to try and weather the storm and see what they can do afterwards. But as we know, it didn't quite go to plan.
But that doesn't matter for me. You still have to go out there and score runs. You can't be plodding along at two runs and over.
I get that, yes, of course, but
when Harry Brooker's just jumping down the wicket and smashing balls for four, yeah, he might get out. And he did. He got out at one point, but at least keeping the momentum going for England. There was no point in the Australian batting today where any of that happened. There was partnership between Head and Green where it was about to start going that way. They were getting comfortable, and it looked like they were going to start attacking. Yes. But then, just as
they added 45 for that partnership, that was for the 5th wicket.
Yeah, and then Head got out in that. He played that flick shot.
Yeah,
yeah. So
and then obviously Carey had a good partnership with Stark of 35, and then both of them got out after.
It's too late by then. It's too late by then. If you're relying on the 7 and 8 to try and get you in a dominant position, then there's something wrong there. So I think, I was surprised by Marnus today because he pretty much, his tempo, the way he batted, was pretty much exactly what he did last year. And I thought that he'd gone back to Shield cricket and, worked out how to stop being so defensive, but pretty much he did the same thing today, and Smith also did the same thing as well. And it's easy to say, it obviously wasn't easy to score quickly.
No.
There was a lot in the wicket. Not a lot. There was something in there for the bowlers.
There was always something there if you bowled in the right area. There was always something on offer there.
That's right. Yeah, but I think but I think you just have to be proactive. I think. And you could see, once Head and Green got themselves in, they looked comfortable. I thought they looked comfortable, and they looked like they.
Yeah, they did. They did. They, the most of the ball got a little bit softer as well.
That's true. Yeah.
That helps. I think Aaron Finch on commentary made a good observation. Is that you can tell because of the sound the ball makes off the bat. It sounded a bit.
Oh, really? Is that what he said? That's funny.
Yeah, that's what he said. Which is quite interesting, compared to a new ball to an old ball. You can hear the difference in sound when the bat makes contact with the ball. So,
I think I was worried about. I think I said in our preview that the bowler that's going, the best bowler for England is going to be Braden Carse, and the ball he got Steve Smith out with. I don't know how you play that, to be honest. It's angling in, moving away, bounce, and one of the best players in the world, who's got a technique and a method to sort of counter those sort of balls, and he still couldn't do anything about it.
No, that's right.
When I saw that, I was like, that's such a good ball. How do you play that? And you could kind of say that it was similar against Usman Khawaja as well, the ball that got him out. But then you could also say maybe Khawaja was, he made it look worse than it actually was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one
especially when he was hopping.
Always
tends to do that when he hops around at the crease and when especially
to
Bumrah last summer, he did that a lot.
When you do that, it always makes it look.
Yes, it does.
Makes it look worse, doesn't it?
If he held his ground and didn't jump up in the air, then it would have been all right.
But Yeah, I think it was a good ball that got Quadra out today.
Yeah,
but yeah, the one
you
that got
can make an
Smith,
argument for that most of the dismissals today, some were off good balls and others were just ordinary dismissals and poor shot selection. I think there's a handful of balls that you could say were sort of earned in terms of the wickets.
Well, I mean,
and
if you go
bowlers.
through them, well, they're all missed a straight ball. Marnus.
Ollie Pope the same. To green.
He
got out
yeah.
LBW.
Well, yeah, he just missed a half volley.
Yeah.
At least Badwall's one was like a little bit quick. And,
yeah.
It wasn't a half volley, but yeah. And then who else? Marnus. He did that.
Marnus tried to leave, and then the ball hit his arm on the elbow and went back onto the stumps. So
indecisive is the where I would describe that, and it's sort of like, well, I thought that he'd gotten over that, so why is that still happening? Anyway, I'm being ultra critical here, but
no, to be fair, that's just unlucky. You expect to leave the ball and it doesn't hit your arm and go back onto the stumps, but that's what it did for Marnus, and so be it. It's just the way it goes.
Smith, I think, I don't know how he played that. That's just
that was pretty good from Cars.
Yeah.
Travis Head's dismissal was ordinary. Wasn't a great ball from Stokes, but nonetheless.
Stokes tends to bowl like rubbish and get wickets. Right?
Yeah, that's. Well, we saw that in the tour match, and people were saying, "Well, if that's the tactic in this series, it's not going to work." Well, he picked up 5 wickets today, so maybe that's a bit of an omen or something. I don't know, but it wasn't even Stokes was saying.
You know who used to do that a lot for England back in the day? Well, I only know this because my dad told me. Ian Botham.
Yeah.
He said he used to get a lot of wickets from rubbish, and one of the things that Ian Botham used to do was he used to bounce the tail-enders all the time and get wickets, cheap wickets at the end.
And that's usually one way of going about it. Yeah, but some of the good balls, I think Mitchell Stark's ball to Joe Root was unplayable. How can you play that as
pretty much unplayable? I think the
unplayable. One squared him up.
I think that, I think the Caster Smith was the more unplayable ball, but that was when I saw that Root getting out today, I was just like, I thought that's just Stark at his best is what I thought, because it's sort of like it looked leg side-ish, right? But by the time he's playing it, it's like, oh, it's coming across me. So that was a great call.
Yes, and there wasn't much swing for Stark either today.
No,
and he was able to pick up wickets with angle and doing those variations, wobble seam and angle and changes of release, and bowling different types of deliveries going over and around the wicket. So, he was superb. He's probably in the best form of his life. And he had to stand up today, and he did.
Yeah, I was going to say
without Cummins and Hazelwood.
He had to take that burden on. With,
and then he's back out there batting at the end of the day, saying, "Oh, I'm going to put the feet up," and now I'm back out here in the middle. But that's cricket. It's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen.
But he got out. he got out.
But
in the same way Travis Head did.
I think we can't begrudge Stark because
no, we can't.
What he did with the 7
That's not his job.
No, it's not his job. He already did his job, and the batters didn't quite do their job. But to be honest, both batting sides looked a bit. That was always the question going into the series about the both batting units, whether or not England can, play smartly with Bazball. Today was a bit of an indication of that, and
my fear is
how they approach their innings.
Yeah, I think my fear is if we're going to have a series where wickets are falling on a regular basis, who's going to be able to get the runs, get ahead of the game, put pressure on the opposition? And actually, I think Bazball works in that scenario because if we looked at today, how many of I'm not saying Australian batsmen should do this, but how many Australian batsmen were like giving themselves room and smashing the ball through point? like Harry
Not
Brook was.
many, I don't think.
Well, no one was doing that. So
I don't think anyone did that. But it comes down to different approach and mindset. Not everyone likes to charge down the wicket, for example. They like to do things in their own certain way. But that is one way to put off the line and length for any bowler.
I suppose if exactly. I think if you,
but it can often get you into trouble as well, as we saw that with
it can.
Harry Brook on a few occasions. He tried to do that and played and miss and all that in his innings.
There's a lot of risk, obviously, but if the point is if you.
But they did it very effectively to Scott Boland. Sorry, Jihan. They did that well to him. They used their feet. They shut down the wicket to Scott Boland, and that's why he wasn't really effective today.
Well, what I was going to say was, like, if you're playing in conditions on a day one Perth Test match, 2025, day one Perth 2024, and it changes after that, as we know from last year. But if you're kind of, the question is if you keep playing shots, that's probably, even if you get out, there's a way to get on top of the opposition, I think.
Yeah.
And England probably know that. They're like, it's like, it comes back to that whole thing of like a ball with your name on it. Like, if we're blocking, trying to get singles or whatever, someone's going to get us out. Sark's going to get us out. Doggett's going to get us out somewhere. Let's hit like 3 or 4 boundaries, get to 40 or 50. Doesn't matter if I get out after that, because we've at least got up to 180. Whereas I think Australia never really thought about it that way. I think when they were batting tonight, they were kind of like, we're going to get stuck in to score 400 in the traditional sense, but the pitch and the bowling was too good. So.
Yes, I think they sort of had flashbacks to Jasper Bumrah and saying, well, he's not out here this summer.
Yeah.
Why is he still haunting our minds a year on?
I'm not saying that they should be playing. What I'm saying is that you just need to get score ticking. That's all you need to do. Score at 3.5, 4 runs around it.
Yeah, you just need to tick it over, and that's all you need to do. If you don't hit a boundary, that's okay. It's not the end of the world.
And even if you're doing that, it doesn't matter if you get out.
No.
But like today, Australia's scoring at 2 and over. And every time they try to push the run rate up or score,
well, they're currently England scored at 5 runs and over, 5.23.
Okay.
And Australia, their run rate at the moment is 3.15. So there is a difference there.
There you go. That says it, doesn't it?
But
that explains the whole thing.
But I suppose people have different approaches in terms of different batters have a different way of going about it. But it was sort of effective for England because they kept losing wickets, but the scoreboard kept ticking over here and there. They were 4 down for not many. 4 for 94, and then 5 for 115, and then there was 6 for 160. So they kept scoring, even though they were losing those wickets. But
exactly, yeah. I think I said to you in the preview, when it comes to baseball, it only works if your bowlers are able to keep up with the pace of the game. In terms of taking wickets quickly at the same rate of essentially the batsmen scoring ones.
Yes.
Which is exactly what they did today. So they were able to do that because they got 9 wickets in 40 overs.
Yes. They certainly found a way of putting the pressure back on Australia, and that definitely helps.
Yeah, so I think do you see Australia getting themselves out of this Test match? Or are they going to lose?
You never know with England. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You never know what they're going to do. Look, Australia will. It will probably be a similar pattern. Cricket's always about patterns and trends, Jihan. What was the trend and the pattern last summer? It was that the bowling was good and the batting was not so good on both sides. I think that's fair to say with Australia and India, but one person stood up for Australia with the bat. And and scored a significant score that got them in a good position. We saw that throughout the series. Smith and Head scored hundreds in Brisbane, even though that test was a draw. But in Sydney, Webster stood up in the run chase with Head and on a pretty spicy wicket. So it only takes one batter, one good partnership, and you're away. I think this series, what we saw today, is probably going to be in that similar trend to what happened last summer.
I think they sort of felt probably today when they were batting that it's only going to take one partnership to be able to nullify what's going the match situation, but just never happened. Look, every time they were getting towards that, they got out. So, Travis Head and
Green, and then Green, Carey and then Stark. Stark and stuff like that. But look, everyone says, "Oh, it's all doom and gloom, and it's all the end of the world, and melodramatic, and all that stuff." It's not the end of the world by any means. It's only day one of the series. Still a long way to go.
Well, those wickets we mentioned, like, how many of them were great balls?
Stark, you can say that with England as well.
But we know that's going to happen with England. But like Stark, Carey,
but with Australia,
Head, and who was the other one? Stark, Carey, Head, and how did Green get out? He just went after a wide ball, didn't he, and nicked it. There's no need to play that shot.
Yeah, he did.
Did England deserve any of those wickets? I don't think so.
Well, you could say the same about Australia as well, in terms of some of the dismissals that England gave. But as you said, Jihan, that's what we expect with England when they play baseball. But look, I think it's probably going to be a similar pattern to what we saw last summer against India. And this test match is already an indication of what happened in the last test here in Perth a year ago. Very similar.
I think it's a mirror image, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I don't see it much different. More wickets fell today.
More wickets fell. 2 more than a year ago. 17 fell last year. 19 today. Could be a number of factors. Number one, first day of an Ashes series, big series. You're a bit tense, a bit on edge. Number 2, good bowling. Number 3, probably poor decision making. And I think that's what we saw with some of the batters on both sides, not just Australia, but also England as well. But look, it's still a long way to go in this test match. I wouldn't say it's done yet.
I do think the wicket's going to flatten out, though. Even when I saw Head and Green starting to look confident,
it's critical with the new ball. Once the ball gets a little bit softer, then it becomes a little bit easier. But I think there's still going to be something on offer with the new ball in the first few overs of the innings, and we saw that today on both sides. There was always something happening.
But can Australia utilize that in the second innings? That's the question, isn't it?
Of course they can. You know what England are going to do? They're going to...
If they look, let's put it this way. If Australia bowl out England for 150 in the second innings, they're going to win. But can they do that? I'm not sure.
Well, they have every belief that they can do that. If, the first innings is anything to go by, they can. They're a team that fights back from challenges. We saw that last summer. And they know how to fight back, and when they're tested, and this Australian team can do that. So I think England will be wary of that as well. Yes, they're in a good position, but as we've seen today, Jihan, it can quickly change on, every ball or, a particular session. So
there's going to be talk about, and apparently this was like a state political thing. The first test being in WA, in Perth, as opposed to the Gabba. I think Mitchell Stark had some comments about that.
Yeah, he did. I don't think it will make any difference, to be honest. We get caught up in traditions and that we have to get used to the fact that the Gabba will be no more, and we won't properly play in Brisbane when the new stadium is.
They're going to have a new stadium there pretty soon, aren't they? So
after the Olympics. before the Olympics start, they'll have a stadium that's built, and then the Gabba will be demolished. So I think we just have to get used to the fact that, things change. And really with me, you can look at records.
If I'm being brutally honest, in terms of conditions, what's the difference between Optus and the Gabba?
They're pretty much similar.
Yes.
You would say probably Brisbane is a bit, in terms of pace, maybe a bit quicker than Perth, maybe. But other than that, they're pretty much similar, bounce and carry and pace. So, it doesn't really matter where you play doesn't really matter what order you play the test matches in. You have to go and win at those particular venues anyway. So it doesn't matter if you play in Perth or Brisbane first or second.
Too much is made of that, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why is Mitchell Starc saying that
because it's thing that's been ingrained, Jihan, in Australian summers, that we always start in Brisbane. That wasn't the case 100 or so years ago, where you only had Melbourne, Sydney, and Adelaide as the only test venues in Australia. The Gabba only became a test venue in the 1930s. Yeah. Before that, you had the exhibition ground in Brisbane, where Don Bradman made his debut in 1928-29 in that Ashes series.
So did they play test matches there?
Yes, where the Brisbane show is, the showgrounds, that was a test venue before the Gabba in the 1930s. It's like the Boxing Day test. People think the Boxing Day test has always been a tradition. It hasn't been. It's only been around since the 1980s or something like that. So people get ingrained with these.
You get these ideas in your head, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. So it doesn't really make any difference to me anyway.
The only reason I know about the Brisbane thing is I don't know if you watched it, the series about Bodyline. The Channel 9 series about Bodyline. Have you watched that?
Was that the television show that was made about? Yeah. Obviously, Nick from Cricket for Americans reacted to.
Yes, he did. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen the series.
Yeah.
Before that, but I only saw it on Cricket for Americans when Nick did it.
Yeah, because I don't think they played at the Gabba in that series, but
no, they didn't.
Like a few years later, that's when the Gabba became a test venue.
No, they played South Africa. Australia played South Africa in the 1930-31 summer in Brisbane. Because, before that, they had the exhibition ground where Don Bradman made his debut in that 1928-29 series. Yeah. And then that was gotten rid of, and then they moved to the Gabba in the 1930s.
So when was the Gabba the first, the test venue?
I'm not sure. Maybe
it was 30s. I'm pretty sure it was 30s.
In terms of its first test match.
Yeah, somewhere in that decade. Yeah.
Yes, 30s. It was in the 30s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether I thought you meant when did it become the first test of the summer? I'm not sure about that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. I think the first test of the summer used to be Melbourne, wasn't it? Was it Melbourne or Sydney? It definitely wasn't. The first test of the summer used to be Melbourne or Sydney, didn't it?
I think it did.
Back in those days.
I don't think Adelaide hosted a first test, of the summer before. Because Melbourne and Sydney are quite big cities in Australia, so you would often go to one of those two.
They were the biggest. They are the biggest cities.
Well, that's how it was in the history of cricket, really. Before the other grounds came in. But Mitchell Starc's comments about that doesn't make any difference. They're pretty similar. Doesn't really matter what order you play in them anyway. So maybe because they did that because they want to push the new stadium in Perth and get people, watching cricket in Perth because of the WACA.
Apparently, it was a political thing between the state governments. And,
a bit of that. We don't want to be political, but that has something to do with it as well.
That's what I've heard.
Particular states wants to host a particular test in a certain order. It doesn't make any difference. Australia still have a good record in both Brisbane and Perth anyway. And we've seen that. Sorry?
I don't think it matters where they start the first.
No, it doesn't matter.
Where,
but people get caught
wherever
up.
you start, you just have to play well.
Yeah, that's right. And people get caught up in those, those things and traditions. So, and same with
the other thing. The other thing is, if you want to really make take some advantage out of alienating opposition foreign teams with your typical Australian conditions, where are the two grounds that you do that?
well,
Brisbane. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter. It's one of those two. So
no, doesn't matter. I think it will.
I mean, even if they started in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Darwin, wherever, just have to play well.
Yeah, that's right. I've always had that sort of view as well. Is that people get so worked up about particular orders of test matches in particular order of preference. It doesn't matter. You still have to play well, regardless of the venue that you're at. It doesn't matter which venue you play at first. Oh, we've got to play at the Gabba because Australia have a great record there. That hasn't been much. Australia lost at the Gabba a few years ago to India, but regardless of that, you just got to play.
Records are there to be broken.
Yeah, that's right. And Australia had a good run, but India were just better in that test match. So that's just the way it goes. So
and West Indies were.
And the West Indies too, yes. Yeah. We forgot about that. I didn't want to remember that, Jihan, but no, they did well there with Shamar Joseph, the West Indies. So, things happen, but that's cricket, that's sport, and you want to see that. You want to see a good contest. And we've certainly seen that in this first Ashes test, Jihan. I think everyone expected in England's side to be a lot better than they were 4 years ago. I think we've certainly got the answer to that today. Following what happened on day one today, Jihan, I think.
Trying to think what happened 2021 day one.
Rory Burns got out first ball.
Yeah, they got bowled out for 150 from memory. But how did Australia bat that day? I'm trying to think.
I'll look at that. We'll have a look at that.
Day two, Marnus. I went to the game and I remember Marnus and David Warner smashing Jack Leach out of the attack.
Yes.
I wonder who was opening with with Warner at the time. It must have been was it Harris or Bancroft even?
I think it was Marcus Harris. So I've got the scorecard in front of me. You were right. You were sort of right. England were bowled out for 147.
Yeah.
And Pat Cummins got 5 wickets. David Warner was opening with Marcus Harris. He got 94. And then Travis Head made that big 150 in his comeback sort of redemption story. And then England were bowled out for... Jack Leach went for runs. He was 1 for 102 from the 13 overs he bowled. And then England were bowled out for 297. Joe Root made 89, which is his highest score in Australia thus far. Darwin Milan made 82 at number 3.
Yes, because I remember. I remember that partnership because it was sort of getting. England was kind of starting to get on top of Australia at that point.
But
I think
in the end, it was only 20 runs that they set Australia to win, and Carey opened the batting in that.
Oh, why was that?
It's coming back to me now. I know it's 4 years ago, but I think David Warner must have had an injury or something. I don't know. And then Carey came in to open. That was his debut test as well. And he I think he took 8 catches or something, Carey, which is a record.
Yeah, because they had to sack Tim Payne because of his extra.
That's how. Carey took 3, 4, 5 catches in the second innings. The first innings, he took 1, 2, 3. So it was a pretty good test match for Carey on debut. And they chased down the runs, Australia. They were 1 for 20 odd. And we know what happened there. They went on to win the series 4-0 in 21-22. So
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen this series, but we'll see.
Well, you said in our preview, Jihan, 5-0 going the Glenn McGrath route, which is
but I
ambitious.
I didn't think Australia were going to bat as terribly as they did today. Come on, they're 123 for 9. Like, why?
It's not ideal, but it will be interesting to see what the comments are after the day's play from certain players. Maybe in the press conference, whoever does that for both teams, it'd be interesting to hear their thoughts on how the pitch played. But the old adage is, Jihan, you never judge a pitch until both sides batted on it. And that's certainly lived up to it.
The 47 behind, something like that, 40 odd behind.
At the moment, 49 runs behind.
Yeah, so if they can I think the only way Australia can win this is if they can get it down to that lead down to, let's say, 30.
Maybe 30.
Yeah, and then Stark and Doggett are going to have to run through the England top order,
which is a possibility.
Yeah,
what we've seen from England's first innings today, that is a possibility. You never know what England are going to do.
And then say they get set 230 to win in the last innings, but by that time there's no sideways movement. The wicket's flattened out, and that's the only way I see Australia winning this.
They did say there was some cracks here and there, but whether or not they'll open up because of the weather remains to be seen.
I don't think the cracks are going to come into this. The 19 wickets have
there was some talk about that on the broadcasts when I heard.
Yeah,
but whether or not it's hot enough in Perth, I don't think it's that hot. But it's hot, but it's not that hot.
It's not actually that hot, and it's going to be cooler over the next few days. But even so, if cracks come into play, like half the game's already gone in the first day, like 19 wickets.
Pretty much. So it's fast forward mode. So
yeah, exactly. So I don't think that's going to make it.
Wouldn't make any difference anyway. So you're really
exactly
starting from a day 2 wicket, really. So it's not really going to go into day 4 and 5.
When this sort of thing happens, like I feel for the Australian bowlers, like particularly Stark, like he's had to hold them up and get 7 wickets because of the fact his mates are both out injured, and he did it. But then now he's going to have to come and do it again.
Well, that's just the way it goes. That's just the way cricket goes.
The batsman in his side can.
Well, that's the same with England as well. They don't give their bowlers much rest either.
Yeah.
When they play this way, so it's been an interesting day's play, nonetheless. If you joined us on the live stream and you want to send in your questions or some comments on the day, we'll be happy to read them out and happy to answer your questions or whatever you may have. But once again, thanks for joining us, and I hope everyone has dropped in to join us and hear the thoughts of me and Jihan on the day's play, and talking about Australia and England and how they've approached the day. But it's been very entertaining nonetheless, and I don't know from your point of view, Jihan, but it just felt like every ball today, it just had that energy about it, didn't it? You just didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a couple of bars earlier on, and everyone was into it. Australians, English fans. There's so many English people over here right now. They've all come over, and I think I'm pretty confident they're going to win. So, met quite a few, and they're so into it. Not just the English, not just the Australians as well. Everyone's just hooked to the screens. I actually met a guy he's originally from England today. I think he said he lived in Canada, but he comes here to do 5-day work. And he didn't even know much about cricket. And he was like, "Yeah, I was at the game earlier." I was like, "Oh, so how come you're here now?" And he was like, "Oh, it's too hot for me. I just had to get out of the sun." I was like, "Okay, cool." And he's like, "But I can't stop watching it now on TV." I was like, "This is so intriguing." I was like, "Cool." That's how the Ashes series is meant to be. But,
yeah, definitely. It brings neutral fans and fans who haven't watched cricket before into the game, which is fantastic. And everyone wants to see an Ashes series at least. You want to see an Ashes series, and you want to watch a test, or and this series is highly anticipated as well. The build up, what's going to happen, all that stuff. And I think today's lived up to that expectation. But it's only day one. There's still a long way to go in the series. And, I think every test match is going to be hard fought, as it should be in an Ashes contest. So just because England are in a, reasonable position, they'll be pretty happy with where they're at. But they will know that Australia have the ability to fight back and make it hard. We saw that last summer against India, and that's why Australia won that series 3-1. So, I always have that sort of feeling, Jihan, that, Australia handle setbacks and adversity better than any other team. And we've seen that in world cricket over the years from them. When they've been backs against the wall, they've always found a way to fight back. And we saw that last summer against India. So no doubt they'll do that in this Ashes series. And there was talk about the first test match and, whether or not it's critical or crucial to Australia's chances, probably more so for England, not so much with Australia. And what happened last summer with India, people made those comparisons. Australia bounced back and were able to win the series, and they did. And India didn't quite handle the pressure after that first test, and we saw what happened there.
I've got to say, it's so irritating for me to see Isa Guha and Michael Vaughan up and about and chirping and jumping up and down like they're kids again. It's so irritating for me.
Well, I don't watch the KO version or Fox during the test matches, only for the ODIs and T20s, obviously. But I watch Channel 7, which is my preferred avenue to watch the test matches in the Australian summer. But I can understand that can get a bit irritating. I suppose it's for every commentator from around the world, really, when they see their team. She was
so up and about today. It was ridiculous. It was so annoying. I remember 4 years ago when she made this announcement at the Gabby test that we just had news that Broad and Anderson aren't going to be selected in the side, and she was making such a big deal of that. And it was a big deal, but I found that hilarious. But now, after today, she's very happy.
Well, that's what you expect, and same with the England crowd as well. They were up and about, but that's Ashes cricket, and that's the way these Ashes series go, really. But high octane day, crazy day. I think everyone's absolutely buggered from watching today. I think that's going to be the same for tomorrow and for the rest of the series. Certainly for me, I'm worn out.
I've got a question for you. 19 wickets fell in the day.
Yeah.
Is there a question about the pitch here? Because that's usually what happens if a day like that happens on day one, right?
Yes, that usually happens. I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it was unplayable. I think it was just some poor batting and some good bowls.
But as soon as you get above 15 wickets on a day, everyone starts questioning the pitch.
Yes, and people questioned the over rate too. People said, the over rate was shocking today. Well, 19 wickets fell, so...
Was it who, England or Australia?
No, I think people just made those observations that the over rates were a bit slow because England have all pace and didn't pick a spinner in this test.
Yeah.
And people were saying all the over rates, but it doesn't really matter. They only come into effect when you bowl 80 overs.
Well, if it's going to be all pace, obviously the over rate's going to be...
But then people made the argument that it was entertaining and 19 wickets fell. So why are you complaining about that? Which is a fair assumption to make as well. Yeah. But, that's just the way it goes when you choose an all-pace attack, and that's what England have done. And when you have fast bowlers operating, of course the over rates are going to be a bit slow. But I don't think it would matter about time lost in this test match anyway, or in fact for the rest of the series, because of the way the pace of today's test match is anything to go by, and the way that England play, it could be a very
I think
quick series.
I think the only way out of this Test match for Australia is if they bowl their hearts out tomorrow, as in run through the England side, including the tail. Don't allow.
Well, they did that very well today. I know you've been big on that, Jihan, in our previous talks about Australia running through tails, but I thought they bowled well to the tail today. They cleaned it up pretty quickly.
It's easier to do on the bouncer wickets because you can bounce them out. But yeah, they can't afford the top order. Harry Brook. Who was the other guy that got 50? Ollie Pope.
He didn't get 50. Ollie Pope, he got 46, I think.
Yeah. So you can't allow them to.
Yeah, he got 46. Yeah.
You can't allow them to get going. You just have to get through. Just get them all out under 20.
It's all about just playing against their strength can be their weakness in a way.
Yeah.
So if you can play to that, then you can they can get a bit unstuck, and we saw that today in a way. And Australia did well with that new ball. So yeah, I think there's still a lot of cricket to be played. There's still plenty of things.
Look, I think if Australia had to chase 230, I would say 230 in the last innings, I think they've got a chance of doing it. But they have to be able to set that target, which means...
Well, absolutely. It's not like they're chasing 500 or something like they did last year against India. And they got bowled out for 238.
Well, this is what I mean. They have to run through the England side, England batting lineup tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
No, definitely. Well, with their bowling performance today, Stark leading the way and chipping in, they can definitely do that.
They have to be more proactive with the bat. Like, if they're going to play like the way Marnus and Smith were batting today, it's just inevitable they're going to get out, and the scoreboard's not going to go anywhere. So I think, I'm not saying they have to back away and smash the ball through the covers like Harry Brook was doing today, but just get a few singles, like get the scoreboard ticking, and put the bad balls away. That's I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, they can definitely do that. And it only takes one or two to get going and get that motoring. So, you learn with any innings that you play, you learn and reflect on it. No doubt they will. I think both teams will after today's play. But at the moment, you would say that both teams would be sort of satisfied in some departments and probably disappointed in others, I think. Mainly with England probably batting first, winning the toss, didn't really get a big score. They'll be happy about the bowling performance. Australia will be happy about their bowling performance, but not so much their batting. So a bit of a mixed bag from both teams today. But nonetheless, it's been an entertaining day of cricket. If we look at it from that perspective, it certainly was. But, I don't know, Jihan, I think people will be saying, geez, this fast-forward cricket, it really tires you out. So it's already end of day one, and we're about to approach the second innings of the Test match. So, Well,
I think if you've got a wicket with a bit of something in it for the fast bowlers, that's always going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think that was anything to do with the way that Australia batted. They didn't play recklessly. England did a little bit, but that's what they do. But
it's different approaches. It's different approaches.
You can't fault Steve Smith for getting out today, for example.
No, that was a good delivery. Yeah. Probably the others would be disappointed about their dismissals, but if you got a good ball, so be it. That's just the way it goes. You just got to respect that.
That sort of good delivery is not going to happen, when Sri Lanka scoring 950 against India in Colombo. There's obviously something in the wicket for the bowlers on this pitch, and tends to be in the first day and day and a half. But you can say fast forward cricket, but it's I think it's mostly the pitch and a little bit of England's baseball nonsense.
Yeah, probably. And we can't make the assessments from afar, really. We're not playing in the middle, so we don't know what's going on. We can often judge from what the players have to say in press conferences or before the game and say, yeah, it's doing a bit and whatever. But, you know, it's just the way cricket goes, and that's the way that, you know, this test match and this series is going to go. But, you know, I'm just excited, Jihan, that finally we got the series underway, so we can finally breathe and finally watch this series with some enjoyment. Depends who you're supporting, of course. But if you're a neutral, you'll be absolutely loving it. You love cricket.
I've met so many England supporters, and like over the last couple of nights, or today and last night, and God, they're annoying. I've got to say.
Well, obviously,
they
going to the game tomorrow,
like,
day two.
They get confused by me as well. That they're like, "Why are you wearing a convict's hat?" I'm like,
and you have a British accent.
Yeah, well, that's what confuses them. Yeah, it's just sort of like, I'm like, that's my team. Australia, my team. That's why I moved here. I love Australia, and they're like,
yeah,
but they're sort of like, nah, you got to come back to us. I'm like,
no,
but
no, we're not going back. So I've made my base here. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Enough.
I had to have a little bit of a chuckle today when I don't know if you saw it when Marnus and Bryden Castle kept going at each other, sledging each other. And I was like, yeah, two South Africans going after each other.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Both of them from South Africa, but not playing for South Africa. Playing for both Australia and England. So, yeah, cricket.
Bryden Castle, he moved to England like probably in his 20s.
Yeah, he moved to England when he was young in his early adult years.
Well, like you don't hear it. Like, there's no South African in Marnus's accent, is there? It's all Queensland. Like, it's proper Queensland.
Yeah.
Whereas even you listen to Kevin Peterson, he sounds South African. He doesn't sound English at all.
No.
I think he moved to England when he was 19 or 20, around that sort of age.
I think he said 18 or 19 or 20, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
He moved to England to pursue his cricket career, and
have you ever listened to Jason Roy speaking?
Jason Roy, yeah.
He sounds South African as
well.
Quite
a South African accent as well. Yes.
Yeah.
He's
and
from
apparently he moved to England when he was 13 or 14. He doesn't. Just that accent, Whereas Stokes, so it moved to England around that same age, but he never kept the Kiwi
New Zealand accent. No, he's full on English. He never kept his original origins from New Zealand.
No, it doesn't sound like that.
So you think about it, the England team are not really from England technically. Some of them aren't.
Well,
some
I like to call the England team the United Nations of cricket.
Well, you have a look at their current team. Let's go through the team. Let's just do this for curiosity's sake. We'll go through their team in this test match, Jihan. And we'll say where they originally came from. Let's do that. Bit of a curiosity thing there. So here we go. All right, we'll start with Zach Crawley. Well, he's
English.
From England. Ben Duckett.
Yeah.
He's from England.
Yeah,
Ollie Pope.
He's from London. Yeah. Pope's from England. Yeah.
Joe Root
is from England. He's from England.
Harry Brook.
England.
Ben Stokes.
New Zealand.
Jamie Smith.
England.
Gus Atkinson.
He's English.
Bryden Cars, we just talked about him.
South African. Yeah.
Jofra Archer is from Caribbean.
Barbados. Yeah.
Barbados. And last but not least, Mark Wood from the North.
Yeah, so there's only, in this test side, there's only 2 or 3. But there's been times where in the one-day side where it's literally like half the side not English, all from England. I think, was it Owen Morgan when he was captain? He was Irish, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So when they won the World Cup, I don't know if you probably don't follow British politics, but there's a conservative politician here called Jacob Rees-Mogg, and he's like, I don't know if you heard of him, but he literally is the poshest guy you will ever hear. Like, he sounds
Yes, I
like
have.
he's
I
from,
have come across him here and there on the news and that. Yeah, he does sound very very proper, very
yes,
posh,
he sounds like he's from
very
the
establishment.
1800s. Yes, and he made a comment when they won the World Cup, something like, what was it? It was something like, "We don't need to be part of Europe for England to be champions," or something. It was a provocative statement, I suppose.
Yeah.
And he got questioned on it, and they were like, "There's an interview on GB News, on Good Morning Britain," and they like got stuck into it. He was like, "I know you said this, but don't you think that was offensive? Like, when you have an England team where we have people from everywhere, we have Jofra Archer from Barbados, from the Caribbean, and the captain is Irish, and Ben Stokes is from New Zealand, Jason Roy is South Africa, etc., etc." And then I think you're getting way too worked up about a little quip, a little joke that I made, a little joke that I made, and of course I know that Owen Morgan is an Irishman. Of course I know that. I know he's not an Englishman. I was watching this. I was like, Jesus, this guy's like from the 1800s.
Well, just having a look at the rest of the England side,
Yeah.
you've got Shoaib Bashir, who's originally from Pakistan, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yes, and then you've got Jacob Bethel, who's from
Barbados.
Caribbean himself. He's from Barbados.
Yep.
And then you've got Matthew Potts. He's from England. Josh Tongue is from England. So that's pretty much the England side there that they've announced for their squad for this series. Also Will Jacks as well. We forgot about him. He's from England as well.
I always felt that Kevin Peterson never felt that he was English. I always felt
no, he did. He has talked about that. He has talked about
even though
identity.
he got the three lions tattooed on his arm. I think that was more of a identity kind of statement for him, like to prove he was English. I don't think he ever felt that way, personally.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he has mentioned that a few times here and there.
Yeah.
Stuff as well. So if you're watching this live stream, this summary of day one of this first Ashes Test from Perth, we would love to hear from you. If you have any comments and some things that you would like us to answer, that as well.
So I just remembered something from the Great Cricketer show last night that I went to. So they put together all these clips. It was pretty funny. They did the Monty Panesar Mastermind thing. I don't know if you've seen that, but one of the clips they put together was, I think it was Kevin Peterson was on the I think it was one of those. It's a podcast with Adam. What's his name? Adam
Collins.
No, it's not Adam. Not Adam Collins. The guy he does a podcast with Brad Haddin and Alyssa Healy.
Oh, Adam Peacock.
Adam Peacock. Yeah. So he came on that podcast and they had a long interview with him, and they asked him about the 2005 Ashes and like how much pressure there was on him as a debutant, etc. And his point was, I never feared Australia because. And for him, I think what he was saying was when he first played for England in the one day, it was the year before, or like 6 months before that, he played in the one day side in South Africa, and that was like his like initiation to absolute pressure sort of thing. And that was more of a big deal for him than actually playing in the Ashes. And that was the point he was trying to make. And he says, the thing, I didn't worry about the Ashes. Because for me, Southern Hemisphere people, we're all the same.
Yes, I did hear that when he was
Yeah.
speaking. Yes, I did.
So they played that clip, and then the guy from the Great Cricketer was just like, they just played this clip of him saying, "We're all the same." And he was like, "The hell does that mean?"
Yeah.
So people from
yes.
Brazil and Argentina and Chile and
Yeah.
were you all the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he's one of those polarizing characters in the game.
Polarizing characters. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Very true. Yeah.
Which didn't quite. Well, he was quite a hard man to get on with, I suppose, with all those things that he had with the England team, and obviously towards the end he sort of lost trust, and people didn't really want him in the side anymore.
I think a lot of those England players were pretty nasty as well, so it wasn't easy, I would say.
Yes, probably not a good environment at the time as well. We have a comment here from Chinda Mishra. I do apologize if I got your name wrong there. He says about Kevin Peterson, no one cares about what Kevin Peterson says. Well, I think majority of people would say that. But
that's a fair point, actually, because he does come out with he comes out with different statements as if it's like gospel kind of thing.
Yes.
At random times. He came out with something recently. I can't remember what it was, but he does tend to do that. I think what the last thing he said was, but yeah, he just comes out with these random statements from time to time, as if that's like this is cricket gospel. But I suppose most of the cricket world don't take it seriously.
Yes, yeah. There's another comment here from Dichendra Mishra. I do apologize if I get your name wrong there. He says read my name. Yes, I do apologize. My pronunciation of certain names is not really that good, but I tried my best there. He says the Ashes or the World Test Championship final for English and Australian fans. Well, if you're English, they don't really care much for the World Test Championship, to be honest.
Well, they don't, yeah.
Stokes doesn't really talk highly of that. So probably the Ashes. For me, both of them are pretty.
I don't understand the question.
He's saying, which one would you prefer to watch, or would you prefer to watch an Ashes series or a World Test Championship final, if you're from Australia or England?
Which one's more important?
Yeah, which one's more important, or which one you will watch over the other, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think. I want my team to be champions, so WTC for me. I want Australia to win the Ashes, obviously, but they do. But generally, they do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
WTC.
I suppose. Yeah. I would say.
WTC final. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
So I went a little bit differently to how you.
Yeah, well, it's quite an interesting question there.
Yeah.
He also says worst pitch. I think that's in reference to this first test. Yep. I don't think it's a bad pitch. I think just probably some poor execution with the batting and some good bowling, I think. I wouldn't go far.
There's pace and bounce, isn't there?
Yes.
And that's not bad. I'm not saying that's bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad to have a bit of pace and carry in bounce.
What I'm saying is you're more likely to get out and create mistakes, and that's going to lead to dismissal when there's pace and bounce. Which is, I like that. I think that's great. I think that's the best thing about playing on Australian pitches. But yeah.
He also goes on about the Ashes in the World Test Championship final. Dichendra Mishra, he says, I'm not talking about watching. I'm talking about what matters more to Australian England fans. Will their team win the final, or will they win the Ashes? I think many people will say the Ashes from that, I would think.
Yeah, I've got to say I'm a bit different to you there. I want Australia to win the WTC final. They're going to win the Ashes anyway.
Yeah, it depends where you look at it from, but maybe most of Australian fans would say the Ashes over the World Test Championship. Maybe England will say the same as well because it's the Ashes.
England would definitely say that because they don't care.
Yeah, they're not really interested in the World Test Championship final. Let's be honest,
No.
and about winning that. Anyway, that's just their mindset when it comes to that. But thank you for your question there, Tijendra Mishra. Good to hear from you. Some of your queries and questions there that me and Jihan have answered. He also writes in again, but for Test cricket, the World Test Championship final will have to be given more importance. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's.
I agree with him.
I think that's true. That's definitely.
I think when it comes to the Ashes, England care about it way more than Australia do. From what I've heard from the players, I've heard Mitchell Stark saying, "We turn up for an Ashes series, we want to win, obviously, but we want to win every series. This is not like a special thing for us."
Yes, and mainly so probably over the last 2 years in the lead up to this series at the moment.
Yeah,
that's probably been the case because they've talked about it from a long way out and planning and all that stuff. Whereas Australia just didn't really talk about it that much. They were just focusing on what was in front of them.
And the thing is, how much I always, because this happened in my lifetime. How excited were England about the Ashes when they were getting hammered from 1989 to 2003? I don't think particularly that much.
Not much.
Because they would pretty much be out of the series by the first or second test.
Yeah.
So that excitement for the Ashes only really in England started after 2005. Whereas I think
maybe the last few Ashes series in England, not so much in Australia, but
yeah. Well, they can't even win at home these days. So, sorry, I'm being a bit facetious, but like in the last couple of series, it's been difficult for them to win at home. I think, I think for Australia, it obviously does mean a lot, but I don't know. Like, I enjoy an Ashes series. I love watching Ashes cricket, but I love watching all cricket. I don't like. I know I get the history and all of that, but I think too much is made of it, and I think a lot of that comes from in our era. I think a lot of that comes from what happened in 2005 and 10, 11, things like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just I think it's a series between two countries is the way I look at it.
Yes. It's like any other series, but different, of course, with the Ashes and the history attached to it. It's always bigger.
Sometimes you get better cricket in a series between Australia and South Africa because the fast bowling matches up better than it does in an Ashes.
Yeah, and we saw that in the World Test Championship final this year as well.
Yes, and also similar with India. You get better cricket because I don't know, like the teams are more evenly matched. Well, the cricket's better, but everyone obsesses about the Ashes.
Yes,
because of the history. Like they're obviously like Australians want to win, but beat England. Like if they think about the thing they want to do is beat England, and the same with England. The thing they want to do is beat Australia. So I think it's more of a historical thing, but I think it's overplayed a little bit too much.
I get that.
I think Ian Chappell said exactly the same thing.
Yes, he did. He did. Yeah. He said it's pointless in a way. It's just another series, he said. Yes, I have heard him say that years ago. Yes.
Yeah.
He's quite forefront, Chappelli, as we know, with his comments on the game. Yes, but I have heard him say that. It's the same with the baggy green as well. He said it's just a $2 piece of cloth. That's what he said.
Don't say that to Steve Waugh.
No, but Shane Warne and Sir Mark Waugh agreed with that as well. Especially after the fiasco, what happened to the 2001 series. I think you know where I'm going with this, Jihan. Where they wore their baggy green.
Wimbledon. Yeah. To be honest, that's embarrassing, isn't it?
Maybe that's a little bit too far. But you know.
And he didn't even win. Ivanisevic won the final.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great final. I used to be into tennis back then as well, but yeah, that was a great final.
Yes. Dejindra says, he's another comment here. The best team in Test cricket in the 21st century is Australia, South Africa, India, and then England. In that order, I would say Australia. Yes.
Yeah.
South Africa.
I'd probably put India ahead of South Africa.
Yeah.
And then I don't think England's getting in there. I think Pakistan would probably be up there, wouldn't they?
You think?
Ahead of England?
Pakistan?
Okay, maybe I'm being a bit too disingenuous to England, but
yeah.
I think the order I'd put that in is Australia, India, South Africa, and then England.
Yeah. Well, that was his order.
I would say that in this current climate as well.
Well, that was the order that he had here.
Yeah.
I would agree with you, probably. Maybe Australia, then India, then South Africa, and then probably England.
And I think probably in the last 10 years, I would put New Zealand in there as well, just underneath. Actually, probably above England. I think I put New Zealand above England.
Yeah, definitely.
No, hold on. Like, we're taking out baseball here. I'm talking about up to 2022.
Yeah.
Although baseball doesn't make a huge difference because they don't win.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah. One of those things. Yeah, rankings or lists. He says no. Maybe South Africa, then India. Okay.
What did I say? I think I said India above South Africa, didn't I?
No, I think that's what his order of preference. I think that's what he was trying to refer to.
So he reckons South Africa better than India?
I think so, from what I can see from his message there.
I don't think so. I think India. I know that they use home conditions to just get.
Well, we saw that recently, sort of backfired, didn't it, against South Africa?
Yeah.
So.
But having said that, they have competed well overseas for a while now. So.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
I mean, even when they go to I know they've won 2 series in Australia, but when they which they go on about all the time, but when they go to South Africa, New Zealand.
Oh, he says South Africa, India equal. So level pegging, he meant.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, South Africa have won the World Test Championship finals. So. Is that sort of a bit of a tiebreaker? Because India haven't won one, so.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think
they have always been competitive, South Africa, in those early years when they had Smith in charge and were at their best.
I never rated South Africa in those days because I think even though they had talented players, I think their way of playing or the philosophy of the way they played Test cricket was way too defensive for me.
Yeah,
they just went. They just played this regimented sort of like style of cricket. Which always came unstuck against the great sides, the best sides in the world. But they were always good enough because they had the talent, so they could always, they randomly win a game because they were good, sort of thing. Like they had the talent on the side. But I think that was for me the difference between South Africa and Australia in the way they played cricket, Test cricket in particular, growing up. It was just more of a mindset to win the way Australia played cricket.
Yeah, definitely.
Compared to South Africa.
Yeah. It's quite an interesting debate to have.
Yeah, but that was an interesting period in the 90s when South Africa came back from after apartheid. And in India, in the 90s, India were in a weird sort of place. They couldn't beat the West Indies, but they were still kind of good, but you couldn't beat them at home. And then there was a point where South Africa went there, beat them in a Test series. I think it was just before the '99 World Cup. Beat them in Test series. They went there for a Tri Nations ODI series. South Africa, India, and Australia. And South Africa were favourites, and this was in India. And I think so. I think they India won it, but only in the final. They won it in the final. South Africa dominated the series and then lost in the final. But yeah, there was a weird time when South Africa were really dominant, particularly in one-day cricket.
Yeah, definitely. Dejindra with another comment here. He says, Test cricket or football, which game is more difficult? Well, I never really was into football myself.
It's talking about soccer, right?
Yeah, soccer.
Well,
in soccer, you have... Well, in soccer, I suppose you have tactics and, skill. But really, it's just trying to get the ball off another person, isn't it? Whereas in cricket, it's about facing a ball and seeing what it will do off the pitch. So I would say
there's probably more athleticism in soccer. You've got to be lean and fast and similar sort of physiques to people that play in Australia, people that play AFL. You've got to be fast. I think that you've got to be able to run. You've got to be lean, and then the other thing is in soccer you've got to have ball skills. Just being able to do all of that stuff with your feet. So, what's the question? Which is more difficult? I think overall, probably. I think Test cricket is more of a mental game as well. You probably don't have that in football as much.
No,
it's only 90 minutes, right? So you can switch off after 90 minutes.
Maybe for a goalkeeper saving a penalty or something like that.
Yeah.
You need to have processes there to deal with that.
Yeah.
I would say probably Test cricket because we love cricket, but I would say it's probably more.
I think mentally, I think mentally Test cricket is the toughest game. Well, I'm saying this as if I played it, but I think.
Playing cricket, you sort of, get that sort of thing anyway.
Yeah, you can sort of gauge how it would be, right? Like at a lower level, obviously, but I think Test cricket mentally would be more tough than soccer.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question to ponder about and think about. So I would say Test cricket also, but both sports have their difficulties, like many other sports do. But a very good question indeed. So thank you for that, Tindra, for your question there. So if you have any more questions or queries or whatever, if you're tuning in, do send them in. Me and Jihan will be happy to answer them, and happy to answer your questions that you may have. Question for you, Jihan, from me. I had a bit of a poll in the chat. It's quite interesting to see what people have voted on there. I basically said, is this probably the best Ashes day one of a series we've ever had? Your thoughts on that, Jihan? Do you think... I can't remember a series where we've had so much carnage like this, to use a Tony Gregg line there, carnage. The car park's full, got carnage. Hard and fast, and you can park the car.
Fast.
Quote the 12th man. I can't think of a day to start an Ashes series off that has been probably more chaotic than today. Not from memory, I don't think.
I can think of one straight away.
No, we can't.
2005. 2005. Day one, Lords.
Maybe
Australia out 180. England 5 for 20. McGrath just bowling just going through all the defences of the English batsmen.
It's probably that Lords Test match in 2005 is probably similar to this one, to be honest.
Quite similar. Well, I suppose Australia batted first there, didn't they? They got 160 or 180 or 170, I think. And then McGrath reduced them to 25 for 5. And he got his, I think it was his 500th
wicket as well, yes.
Andrew Stratt. I think it was Andrew Strauss, yeah. Oh, by the way, when I was listening back on listening to our preview episode, and actually I made a mistake.
What was that?
Which I picked. So remember when we were talking about Ricky Ponting's 100 in India?
Yes.
So he didn't make it in that Test match where Laxman and number 11, I can't remember who it was.
Was it Oja or something batting with him at the time?
I think it was Oja. It wasn't in that Test match. It was actually 2 years earlier when they went for the 2008 series. So in that match where India won by 1 wicket, Ponting scored 71. I looked up the scorecards. He scored 70 in the first innings, but in the series 2 years before that, they went there for a 4-test series. They lost 2-0, got slaughtered, 2 draws. But he got 100 on day 1, I think, of the first Test match there, and that was the one. Yeah, that was the one where he was so pumped when he got that 100, and I think Shane Watson got 100 as well in that Test match. But, yeah. So I got that wrong. It wasn't 2010; it was 2008. And also, for some reason, I kept saying kept referring to the last Ashes series as last year for some reason. Obviously, it wasn't last year; it was 4 years ago.
That's all right. Yeah, it was against India, 2008 at the M. Chinnaswamy in Bangalore,
right,
now called Bengaluru. That game was drawn. He scored 123 in that game, Ricky Ponting. I always thought he never scored 100 in India for some reason.
I think that was the only one he scored. I don't think he score any more.
But I always thought he never scored 100 for some reason until you mentioned it the other day when we did the preview for this Ashes series. Chidinja has more questions. Good. We'd love to answer your questions. They're very good. You say, tell me, cricket as a sport is growing, and especially Test cricket is growing. People say IPL is not good for cricket. He also goes on to say, but it's very important to have money in the game, in any game, only when more people will play that game, and that game will grow. Very interesting question there.
So important to have money in the game, and only then. Oh, so he's saying the game will only grow if there's more money in the game. I think is that what he's saying? Yeah.
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah. I don't think Test cricket is growing. I think franchise cricket is growing, which is not the way I want things to go. How that's going to be addressed going forward, I really don't know what's going to happen. I think we talked about this on an episode a while ago, where I said we need to think about where Test cricket's going to be in 25 to next 20.
Yes, I'm just looking that up.
50 years
at the moment. There, on that episode we did.
Yeah.
There we go. It was about. We did it early this year in January.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, it's gone quick, isn't it? It's nearly the end of the year. Where we talked about the Border Gavaskar Trophy in that particular summer that just gone. And we talked about Test cricket promotion and relegation. And then we also talked about the Sri Lanka and Australia Test series before Australia were going to set off.
It was during one of those episodes. I think I mean, a decision needs to be made on where Test cricket is going, basically.
Yes, well, they scrapped the idea about the promotion relegation. I don't think they're keen on that, from what I heard from the ICC.
Yeah, they've scrapped that now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I think that's a good idea. I don't think it would have helped the game in any way if you did that. But you need to come up with a way to make sure that countries are, getting the good facilities and players who are committed, and I've seen that in the West Indies recently, and just to control it. But I think the rise of T20 cricket, Jihan, a lot of the problems they should have solved at the time, but you can't really predict the future, can you? So it's a bit too late to
I don't
solve some of the problems.
I don't want Test cricket to just be a competition between England, India, and Australia. And then recently, South Africa have kind of they're like, oh no, we want to be good too. And we've got talent, we've got players to do that.
They won the World Test Championship final, and they deserve that victory, right?
And they just beat India as well.
And they just beat India in India.
Yeah. So they have the talent. They have the players.
They have the talent. It's just they need the support, and they need the funding and the money, and that's what they've got from the SAT20 at the moment, and that's pumping money into.
Why are the World Test champions not playing a home Test series
this summer? Makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. And that suggests to me that there is a Test cricket is dying. Why is Bryden Cast playing for England? Okay, that's been going on for a while, but still.
Yeah, I think that had something to do with apartheid as well. That sort of stemmed from that.
Cold-pack players and all that.
Yeah.
But
that's not a thing anymore. They got rid of that because of England leaving the EU, so they don't have Kolpak anymore.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Yeah.
So I think the strongest Test cricket nations in Test cricket are Australia. I put it in this order: Australia, India, who are pretty close, I would say. But I still
and then you have England.
No, I'd put South Africa in terms of talent. In terms of quality.
Yeah.
Quality, I'd put South Africa ahead of England.
And then you'll have England.
Then I'd have England, and then I'd have New Zealand. But those five countries or teams in Test cricket are the ones that are holding the game up at the moment. None of the other teams are. West Indies aren't. Sri Lanka aren't. Pakistan aren't. Well, Bangladesh definitely aren't. Zimbabwe aren't. So I think that's the problem. And even New Zealand are still a fair few rungs below the top four. So it's because the thing is, I grew up with cricket in the 90s, and England went to the Caribbean in '98, and they got hammered, and Michael Atherton resigned because they got smashed. That just doesn't happen anymore, That wasn't, that was just before the turn of the century. It wasn't that long ago.
No, it's like 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So that disappoints me. But I think where's it going to go? I don't know.
That's the thing, really. How is it going to go into the future? And those are the questions that the ICC need to answer. Not for us, Jihan, but for the top dogs in charge. Ginger also says, what I think, Test cricket growing in their place. Yeah, that's, I suppose, if those countries in question, as we mentioned, like the West Indies, for example, just say, hey, we're just going to step away for good, then you don't want that to happen because of the history that they've had in the West Indies over the years, but they need to really sort their house in order, really. This political in-flight fighting is not going to help anyone. Same with Pakistan too. You're not going to get anything done. You can't just sack the coach after you've lost a series. But Pakistan cricket have always done that. They sacked Jason Gillespie recently. And now they brought on someone else to bring success. That's not going to happen. It's like an animal circus or something,
Well, I remember when they had was it Jeff Lawson as their coach, and
he did coach Pakistan for a bit. Yeah,
he was so frustrated by it, and he said a lot of it was politics. It was like Lahore versus Karachi politics and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, we have it in Australia as well, to be fair.
A little bit of it, but not to
that
extreme. Yeah. Whereas in Pakistan, it's a bit. Those subcontinent countries, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, are guilty of that, and probably India as well, with the BCCI to an extent.
so much. There must be so much politics.
Yeah, and that's what the ICC say in their own
Indeed,
rules
okay.
and regulations. No political influence, but it happens, and Sri Lanka got banned for a bit there. So they're going against their own rules there for some reason. Yeah.
That's actually something that India have done pretty well to be able to get to where they have done in the last 15 years.
Yeah, they
So,
do have a lot of.
Yeah.
We don't want to sound political here because we don't want to talk about politics, but it does happen in cricket, and it's a big issue that needs to try and be separated. But countries, that's just how they operate their own cricketing.
Well, I mean, Pakistan, there was a time where Musharraf was picking the team. And this is the guy who's like keeping Osama bin Laden away from the American government, or hiding him, sort of thing. It's just like, what is going on? So you have those sort of problems with
it's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Coding Shiska, I hope I pronounced that correctly. He says, if South Africa managed to win the second test against India, which whitewash would you rate better? New Zealand whitewashed last year or South Africa one? I think 3-0 is still the best. Well, it's a 2-game series, isn't it? So if they come out of the series...
It depends how badly they smash India in that second test. If they win by an innings and absolutely...
I would say the New Zealand one was a good achievement.
Yeah.
Because of the way they played and that. So winning 3-0 is no easy feat in India. But depends how South Africa approached this.
Has that even been done?
Sorry?
Has that ever even been done, 3-0 in India?
Not for a long time, I don't think.
No,
If it hasn't happened, it's a rarity.
Yeah.
From memory, I think it's been a long time. And I don't think India have lost a home test series since 2012 until that point. So, yeah, which was against England in that series.
Yeah, I think if South Africa win, I mean, it really depends on if they win.
I don't think India will probably make the same mistake if we say that. I think they would have learned their lesson from this first test.
You reckon they'll
and basically, it's always been evident for some time is that Indian players can't play spin. And I think that's a fair assessment, I think. Yeah. Many people have said that. They just can't play spin. And you prepare pitches like that. It's a bit of a lottery. And you're not sure what you're going to get every ball. So, yeah, maybe they need to rethink the approach, India.
I think if South Africa smash India in this second test match, I think that's going to be a better victory than the 3-0 New Zealand one.
I would think still both of them are still pretty good.
Yeah,
it just depends what the tiebreaker is.
But you reckon India are going to screw it up, though?
Possibility they may. We'll have to wait and see. But thanks for your question there, Coding. Jadinja comes back and says, IPL has not affected West Indies Test cricket. I would say probably has, because their players play in the IPL and some of them have forgone Test cricket, like Nicholas Puran, who didn't play Test cricket but could have been good at Test cricket for the West Indies. As one example, but I suppose just sums up where the West Indies are at, Jihan, in terms of their money and financial situation with their players, is that they're going to play in these T20 leagues, and that's what they've done for years. And that's what's happened with the West Indies over the last few years. Yeah,
I have nothing to add to what you're saying there.
I think it's been pretty evident for some time.
Yeah,
that it has affected the way that they've gone about things in their Test cricket. But nonetheless,
I think the point that is true, though, and I think I made this point on one of the podcasts that we recorded, is that their Test cricket was going way downhill before T20 and IPL.
Yes.
Probably from 2000. When did IPL start? 2007.
2008.
So probably, yeah. So the first decade of the century. That's when things were started to go downhill. But I think that was not just Test cricket. That was overall all cricket in the Caribbean.
Yeah. He also says, I feel bad that the IPL, T20 internationals, and ODI internationals are blamed for Test cricket. It's an interesting question there.
Well, I
Unfortunately,
don't. Yeah, I don't think ODIs have anything to do with the blame for Test cricket going downhill.
no, I don't think so.
Or not being as strong as it used to be, or competitive as it used to be, because I used to find that. Well, I guess I felt that they worked well together when I was growing up. Anyway, because you like, for example, 2001 Ashes tour. Australia arrived in England. They have a tri-series with Pakistan, really competitive series. They both teams outplayed England and ended up in the
Yes,
final.
and Australia had some problems with the crowds, especially games against Pakistan. They had beer bottles or beer cans thrown at them.
Yeah, that's right. That was back in the day when you had crazy Pakistani crowds in England. Someone threw a full beer can at Michael Bevan during the presentation of that final. But yeah, you had that tournament. Australia and Pakistan playing in the final. You knocked out England during the series, and then you go on to play the Ashes after that. So everyone, I remember Ricky Ponting scored tons of runs in that one-day series, and then came into the Ashes, and everyone thought, because he failed in India just before that. I don't know if you remember, like when they lost in India, when he couldn't play Harbhajan. Played this one-day series and he was scoring loads of runs at number 3, and they put him up from number 6 to number 3. But then he started failing in England as well because he was struggling with the moving ball.
Yeah.
And then it was the 4th Test match where he finally got 140. That was a great 100 as well. It was 140 of 150 balls. That was like Bazball 25 years ago. That was the Test match they lost. That was the only one they lost in that series, and Mark Butcher scored a big 100 in the 4th innings to win. But I don't think ODI cricket has. I don't think that ODI cricket is to the detriment of Test cricket. I think it's mostly T20 internationals. Definitely, I'm not a fan of those. I think there's way too many. I don't even understand the context or why so much.
And also T20 World Cup
importance.
every couple of years. We've got one next year, and we just had one in 2024, and then countries play it just to make money and quick and easy cricket.
Exactly.
And franchise cricket as well.
Yeah, it's just a cash cow, isn't it? When you think about it.
Well, I suppose for those lesser countries it is.
Yeah.
But for Australia, India, and England, it's more generating the profits. And even when Australia played India and South Africa in these T20s this summer, before this Ashes series started, even watching them myself, obviously I watch cricket because I love cricket, but even watching the T20s, I just didn't, feel interested, or it didn't really G me up. You know that feeling, Jihan? Yeah.
Yeah, it's for me, it's what's the term I use? It's an exhibition match or an exhibition series.
Well, that's what it was back in the day.
Yeah, but I still think it's that. I don't care that much about it, to be honest. I think Australia beat India in the ODI series. Yeah, there were a couple of rain-affected games, but I actually enjoyed that series. And then the T20 series with rain-affected games, and India won 2-1. Who cares about that? Honestly. And also Josh Hazlewood got injured from that. So, and now he's not playing in the Ashes. So, yeah, I think...
regardless if he played in those or not, maybe he still would have got injured anyway. So we don't know.
T20 World Cups should not be every 2 years. Because it has no meaning if it's every 2 years. It's got to be every 4 years.
2007, 2009, 2010, I don't know
Well,
why they had it.
between 2009 and 10, it was like 6 months. Ridiculous. Like,
Mm.
between 2009 and 10, it was like 6 months. Ridiculous. Like,
And then they had one in 2012. 2014 was in Bangladesh. 2012 was in Sri
Bangladesh,
Lanka.
yeah. Sri Lanka,
2014 Bangladesh. 2016 India.
India.
2000
Then there was a gap.
there was a gap, and then
21
2021 was in
Abu
UAE.
Dhabi, UAE.
2022 was in Australia. I don't know why they
Australia.
did that.
Yeah.
And then last
24
year
was
was
in the Caribbean.
Caribbean, USA, and then India 2 years. Cricket's the
It's
only
gone.
sport in the world, Jihan, that has a tournament every year. You think about
Yeah.
it, since 2019, have we had a big break for any tournaments? Not really. So let's go through it, just for curiosity. So 2019 was Cricket World Cup, England, right?
Yeah.
2021 was those T20 World Cup in UAE. 21, 22 was Australia, UAE. T20 World Cup last year, and Champions Trophy this year.
Yeah.
And 2023, there was a T20 50 over World Cup in India. So think about that.
That's right.
There was a tournament every year.
Yeah.
In different formats.
That's so
Plus
cool.
the World Test Championship final, but that comes every 2 years with the cycle. But you think about
WTC can stay every 2 years. Cricket World Cup, which is the proper World Cup. I don't care about the T20 World Cup is not the Cricket World Cup. The Cricket World Cup is the ODI tournament. That should be every 4 years. The T20 World Cup should also be every 4 years. And I don't mind. We've had some great Champions trophies over the years, so I think that should also be in the cycle. But again, every 4 years.
I wasn't sure if this Champions Trophy was the best. India just dominated, but they were probably the best team all round. So,
but I think historically we've always had great Champions trophies and great games.
Yeah.
I remember a game in. This is the thing about when you compare Test or ODI cricket to T20. How many T20 internationals do you remember? Like, think that was great.
Oh, you remember the significant ones that had maybe a T20 World Cup, maybe had significant meaning, or probably one where something happened.
The only T20 I remember fondly is when Mike Hussey got those runs against Pakistan.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah.
But
that's one.
The Champions Trophy game I was going to mention was 2002 in Sri Lanka. It was a game between India and South Africa, and India got like 270 or something. South Africa were cruising; they were gunning it down, cruising it. Herschel Gibbs 110 not out, and then he had to go off because of cramp. Because like in Sri Lanka, like humidity, all his arms cramped up, and he just couldn't hold the bat anymore, so he had to go off. And out of nowhere, South Africa just collapsed. Complete collapse, like typical South African choke. They were getting out to Verinder Sehwag's at Austin. And they ended up losing a game that they were dominating. Like things like that, you just sort of remember that. Like I don't care about, like I don't support either team, but I watched that game and I was like, I love this game. This is awesome game, sort of thing. We don't get that with T20 cricket, though.
Yeah, that's the good old days, I suppose, of cricket, Jihan, and those memories, and when cricket was different. Jadindra says there's no rule on shaking hands in the ICC. And he also says politics also happens in South African cricket. Yes, that's always happened for a long time.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty evident since when they came back after apartheid. That's always been something in South African cricket with politics.
It's the reason that Kevin Peterson ended up playing for England.
Probably not. I think there were other factors that probably at play there. Jadindra says, tell me how you guys both manage... tell me, how do you guys manage both cricket and studies? I am not able to watch cricket. I get very little chance to watch it. You can answer that, Jihan.
I think I watched a lot more cricket when I was younger.
when I didn't have to. When I didn't have to, well, I obviously I work 9 to 5 now, and I have a lot of commitments outside of work and study and stuff. Since I left uni, but I probably the most cricket I watched was growing up as a kid, from like 8 years old to a teenager, and then even once I went to uni, I watched a lot of cricket when I was at uni, instead of going to lectures. But I don't watch as much these days because I've got a lot more commitments. But I still catch up on highlights. I mean, that's something I always do. Even like series I'm not really interested in. If there's like the South Africa India Test match last week where South Africa won, I saw the highlights come. I was like, okay, I'll watch this one and see what happened. Like nothing. So I watch a lot of highlights. But if it's Australia, if it's a team that I really follow and like, I'll make time if I can. And I think also a lot of the Australian season, when you're watching Australia play Test cricket, it's around like Christmas, New Year's. So there's plenty of time to watch around that. Around that time, you can just have it on. There's no commitments. There's no study. You're not going into lectures and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think for me, now I've got a bit more time. I can watch a lot of cricket and do that more easily than growing up. I think growing up, you had time to watch it on the weekend or something if there was a test series on during the summer, or, going to school and that. I remember going to school and watching test matches when I came back home from school. Same with ODIs. You would catch the back end of the first innings, and then the second innings you'll watch late at night. So that's how I did it growing up as well. So, I think now with some more time on my hands, I can watch more cricket than I have done before.
What I'd say to Jitendra Mishra is you can always find time.
You can. Of course you can.
You can find time. Yeah.
You can find time in your schedule. He also says, I feel there is no balance in India.
Balance.
He also says there is balance in developed countries in life and work. I think it's just priorities.
What does he mean by balance? Balance between what?
I think work balance.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think that's what he's referring to there. Priorities and,
I think when you're a kid, you have a lot more time on your hands, don't you? I did.
because you're growing up and you're a kid, so you don't have responsibilities. Whereas you get a bit older, you do. So
and you do, yeah.
So but you can make time, Judinja, for cricket. If you,
I'll give you. 2003. I was 15 at the time. And I watched so much of that World Cup. I watched I watched West Indies Canada, and this guy called John Davison smashed West Indies.
Scored the fastest 100 in World Cup cricket until Kevin O'Brien bit it. In that game that Ireland won in 2011 against England.
I remember watching that. I was like, "Who is this guy that's smashing my favourite team everywhere? What's going on with it?" And then Basbert Drakes caught him on the boundary, like with this amazing catch. So I watched a lot of. I suppose I was 50. The day that Andrew Simons got that 100 against Pakistan. I actually took a sick day from school that day, but I watched it with my dad.
Yes, well, those memories are great. And even for me going to school, I would always have the computer on, doing whatever I was doing for work in school, and then I would just check ESPN cricket for the school.
Yes, exactly. Same.
I had a good mate who I'm still friends with. He's from India originally, but he lives in Australia now. We would always sit next to each other in class, and we would always talk about cricket and look at the scores, and probably focusing more on that than in the actual cricket itself.
Yeah.
Judinja says, it was nice talking to you guys. I am from Kochi, India. Yes.
My parents have been there, actually. My parents went there
that's nice.
a few years ago. They seemed to like it. They said it was like, I remember my mum saying it was like a coastal sort of town, a lot of boats and stuff, and they seemed to like it. Yeah.
Oh, right. He says, whenever you come to India, please let me know if you need anything. Oh,
Sure.
Thank you for the offer and the invitation, Judinja.
I've never been to India. Have you?
No, I haven't been to India either.
No.
They say it's a different experience when you go there. I haven't had the chance. He also says he's 18 years old. Wow. You're in the prime of your life.
I thought he was like in his 30s or something.
You can't judge a book by its cover, Jihan. If he says he's 18 years old, he's 18 years old. So he's an adult. Cherish those years, Jadinja. Me and Jihan are old men. Well, I'm not old. I'm in my 20s, but Jihan would tell you the years do go by quickly when you get older. So
they catch
enjoy
up
them.
with you, for sure.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. But no, my advice for Jitendra, who's apparently 18, is just enjoy your time as an 18-year-old. Honestly, it's the best time of your life.
Yes. Do the things that you want to do and have fun.
West Indies, Canada.
He also says West Indies and Canada. And he has laughing emojis there. Well, they did play in those World Cups.
I think that guy that scored the 100 became Australia's spin bowling coach for a bit.
He's Nathan Lyon's mentor.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he is. John Davidson,
right, okay. John Davidson, yeah.
He did a bit of work with the Australian team as their spin bowling coach for a bit, and he's Nathan Lyon's mentor. So
That's so funny.
Yeah, and he plays for Canada, but I think he's Australian as well, but he plays for Canada. He has some links there, as you know, in associate cricket.
Yeah.
With these connections there.
Oh, I'll give you another memory, talking about, I suppose, ODI memories, I guess. When Trent, what's his last name? Trent something. Also Australian, but playing for Ireland. Slog sweat Pakistani bowler for 4 or 6 to win the game. I think it was 6.
What was his name again, Gio?
The first name was Trent. I can't remember his last name.
Trent. So he played for Ireland.
He played for Ireland. It was when they beat Pakistan in the 07 World Cup.
Here we go. He's Trent Johnston.
Trent Johnston, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, he was born in New South Wales in Wollongong, and he played cricket for New South Wales in domestic comps here, and he went over to Ireland to play for them. He played 67 ODIs and 30 T20s up until 2013.
Yeah, that's right.
The name is familiar. I do remember his name. It is familiar.
He was good. He was a good bowler. They bowled out Pakistan for 130, I think. So it wasn't that much to chase. And Ireland had Kevin O'Brien and Niall O'Brien. Niall O'Brien I knew because I didn't know him, but he played for Kent. He was Niall O'Brien was Geraint Jones's understudy when Geraint Jones was playing for England. And I knew he was a good player. He was a good left-hander. He was a really good batsman. And I knew if they were going to win, it was going to be down to him pretty much. I think he got 20 or 30, but once he got out, he got stumped off one of the Pakistani off spinners. And I was like, okay, yeah, they're going to screw this up. But they kept getting closer and closer. And then that Trent Johnston came in, and I was I think they needed maybe 10 months to win. And I was like, okay, yeah, he's a decent bowler, but I'm not sure if this guy can bat. And he just slogs the 6 out of nowhere, and they win. And then Pakistan cricket goes into crisis. Bob Warmer gets murdered that night or something.
Oh, he did, yes. Yeah. 2007, yeah.
Yeah, crazy time. I remember that. Yeah. I mean, 2007? I would have been 19. 19. So that was Yeah. Those are the sort of times, or the sort of games and things that you look for that look great to watch.
Yeah, it's certain cricketers that you remember, and you think, "Oh, I haven't thought about them for a while." That happened to me recently, and I thought about James Faulkner. I was like, "Whatever happened to him?"
I randomly thought about him last night when at the Great Cricketer Show, because there was a question about which cricketer. I think they asked Mike Hossey, who's an absolute C word. And I just remember my cousin from England saying that apparently James Faulkner's not the best guy. Like he's a little bit of he's not the greatest guy, sort of thing. And it just came into my head. But yeah, he what happened to him? Like 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Well, I think he got injured and he played a test in England in that 2013 Ashes at the Oval. Played one test. He played ODIs for Australian T20s. Obviously, the memorable game at the Gabba in 2013-14.
He was a great ODI player. Great ODI player.
He scored that 100 in India in that high-scoring series of that year. Yeah, Rohit Sharma scored that 200. Won that game in Mahali, I think it was. In that run chase, Australia were chasing 300 or something. He scored that 100.
Wasn't that in a losing cause? I thought.
I'm not sure. I can search it up. I know it was 2013. 2013, I think it was.
It was that. Yeah, it was just before the 13-14 Ashes.
It was the third ODI, and Australia won by 4 wickets.
Okay.
And James Faulkner. Oh, hang on. No, he got 64 not out in this game. Maybe it's a different.
It's probably the
game
fifth
in the series. I'm thinking about.
That's probably the 4th or 5th ODI. Because I remember at the time they sent Mitchell Johnson home, and everyone was just like, "Well, why are they sending him home?"
Well, there were 7 ODIs played in that series.
Oh, 7. Okay, sure.
That's a blast from the past. You know, playing 7 ODIs, you don't play that anymore.
No. And they probably still won 4-2 or something, didn't they?
Let's see. India won the first game. Yeah, but in the series, Australia won the third. India won the first game. Australia won the second. India won the third. The fourth, Australia won. The fifth was a no result. The sixth was abandoned without a ball being bowled. And the last one was, that was the fifth. The sixth ODI was a high-scoring match. 350 plays 350, and India chased it down with 4 wickets in hand to win by 6. Or 4 wickets down, I should say. Virat Kohli made 100. And Shane Watson and George Bailey made hundreds as well.
Yeah, I think that was the series where George Bailey got loads of runs, and then because of that,
and he really announced himself, really. And then the last game, Rohit Sharma made that 200. He made 209, and then James Faulkner made that 116. That's the game I was thinking of.
Yes, I thought it was
in a losing cause.
Yeah, in a losing cause.
That's what. And they lost by 57.
Remembering. And Mitchell Johnson didn't play that because they sent him back home to prepare for the Ashes.
That's right. It was before that Ashes series.
Yeah.
And they sent him home and getting ready for the Ashes here. And we all know what he did. Yes, it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah. No, because I remember that because in England, for some reason, all the English pundits on Sky were going on about, why would you send him home when the series is on the line, blah, 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 blah. And then 6 months later, or a few months later, they found out why.
Yeah, that's why. And he was bowling pretty well at that time as well, Mitch.
He was.
He was sort of in the wilderness a bit, out of the Australian side, I think he was, and just finding his way back. And we all know what he did nearly 20 years ago now.
I think he broke a bone in his foot in South Africa. I'm pretty sure that was 2011. Pat Cummins' first Test match.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, they were chasing a score and in the final innings, and he got them there, but he with a broken foot, and then he sort of went away for rehab and for that to all heal, and then he just. I think after that, he wasn't in the reckoning anymore. But I remember him coming back in the series against Sri Lanka. I think it was 12-13, Boxing Day, 2012 or 13. I can't remember which year. No, it would have been 12 because, or 11 maybe, 12 or 11. And he bowled seriously quick against Sri Lanka. And I think a couple of their players retired hurt, so they only took 8 wickets instead of 10, sort of thing.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, and that pitch at the MCG was quick for once.
Oh, yes, it was. Yes,
one of those bouncy.
That's not the game that Dan Christian took a hat trick in, is it? Or that was earlier? Because I know he took one in 2011-12. Dan Christian against Sri Lanka at the MCG took a hat trick.
That wasn't in the Test match though, was it?
Oh, you're talking about the Test match. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about the Test match, not the ODI. Yeah.
Yeah, no. It was the Boxing Day Test. I think it was 2011 from memory. I'm looking it up now. Yeah.
2011, you say?
Yeah.
I thought it was 2012-13. Yes, that's when Sri Lanka came out. They didn't come out in 2011.
Yeah. So, okay. So that must have been. Yeah, it was. You're right. It was 2012. Yeah. Australia won by an innings. But yeah, Mitchell Johnson bowled rockets in that game, and I suppose that was. Then they went to England that Australian winter. They went to England, but they didn't select Johnson because he was not in their calculations at the time. But he came back into the one-day series, and then in the one-day series he scared the Jesus out of Jonathan Trott with his bouncers, and he actually got to bowl at him at Old Trafford on a hard bouncy track. I think people took note of that, and they were like, "We've got to get him back into the."
I do remember that at the time. There was talk about him. He was bowling well, and I can't remember if Australia won those ODIs or T20s. I think they did. I think they won one series at least.
Yeah,
but I know he was bowling well in those games.
I think what happened was when he came back after that injury, he scared the bejesus out of Sri Lanka at the MCG on that really quick track. But then what happened after that was they went to India after that in 2013, and they got slaughtered. That was the Homework Gate series.
Yes, it was.
Yes. And I think he was one of the guys that didn't do his homework from memory. So after that, he still wasn't in the reckoning, and then he didn't go to the Ashes. He didn't play there. They lost 3-0, but he bowled so well in the one-day series that they got him into the back into the Test squad for the following Ashes, and then that's
No, that's he came back with some venom there, Mitchell Johnson, in that series in 2013. That's for sure. He bowled superbly and put those Barmy Army demons behind him and other things as well. He bowls to the left, he bowls to the right. Mitchell Johnson, he bowls beep. I think everyone can fill in the blanks there, which really affected him a bit. But I think it was let it go and just hope for the best. And what a series it was. Australia won 5-0 and got the Ashes back for the first time in a few years, which was a pretty good series to witness. And even just watching it, you couldn't believe what he was doing. I always remember that spell he bowled in Adelaide when he got the 7 for 40, and then Broad was looking at the side screen and saying, "What's that shiny thing there?" And then he got knocked over his leg stump. That was hilarious. Bowling.
Were you there?
Sorry?
Were you there?
No, I wasn't there, but watching it on TV, I remember it fondly.
Yeah.
And just how it...
He also bowled James Anderson first ball as well.
Yes, he did. He gave him a stare too, because there was a bit of beef between Anderson and Johnson as well over the years. He just copped his revenge, but he just was absolutely superb. In that series, Mitchell Johnson. Well, if anyone has more questions or queries they want to ask me and Jihan, we'll be more than happy to answer them. But we've spoken for over 2 hours, Jihan. When you're having fun talking about cricket, it flies pretty quickly.
Jesus.
So if anyone has any more questions or queries before we sign off, me and Jihan will be very happy to answer them. We've had some good questions in today on all things cricket related, other things as well. So any more questions, we'll be happy to answer them and have a bit of a chat about them. But yeah, as I said, when you talk about cricket, you're having fun as well, which is pretty good. But yeah, if no one has any more questions or queries, I think we will pull up stumps, so to speak, Jihan, and go again in the near future. But no, it's been really enjoyable, Jihan, as always, to have you on. And to connect with our community as well on the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast. And if you joined our live stream today, thanks for joining us as we summarize day 1 of this Ashes series between Australia and England from Perth. Very entertaining day. 19 wickets fell. What will day 2 and potentially day 3 bring us? We shall see. You never know what you're going to get with this England team. And also, we know Australia will fight back as they always do. But, you know, I think, Jihan, we're pretty excited that the Ashes are finally here. The anticipation that was brewing since the last series has finally dissipated, and we can finally enjoy some Ashes cricket this summer for the next month or so. And hopefully some entertaining cricket over the next, well, now 24 days of this series out of the 25. But it may not be the full duration, but we'll have to wait and see. But thanks, Jihan, for joining me as always.
Yeah,
really appreciate it. And also thank you everyone for joining in as well. If you joined us for the live stream today, we appreciate your support as always. But a bit of a reminder before we go, the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast has you covered for this Ashes series. Join us for live streams and episodes and all the content that we're going to be posting in this Ashes series. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dibbly-Dobbly Podcast. Click the bell so you don't miss out on all the episodes that we post. And also, if you haven't done so already, check out the Ashes preview that me and Jihan did a week or so ago, where we previewed this Ashes series between Australia and England. It's riveting stuff, I can tell you, and you won't be disappointed. So if you haven't done so already, that's available on our YouTube channel. And also we are on Patreon as well. And I haven't really plugged Patreon all that much. But basically, if you want to become a member of the podcast and support the podcast in a sort of money sort of way or sort of thing, become a Patreon member and become a Dibbly-Dobbler. And that pretty much gives you exclusive perks and everything, and you can join me on a live stream or an episode. Jihan's a Patreon member, so that's why he's joining me for these live streams and episodes. You can be like Jihan and join me on a particular episode and live stream of the podcast. You have exclusive perks. Become a Dibbly-Dobbler Patreon member. It's really easy to do. All you need to do is to go to the Patreon link, which is in the description of this episode or live stream. Click on it, follow the prompts, and sign up and become a member. There's no pressure. If you want to do that, that's up to you. But just putting it out there for people to access that if they want to. So that's one of the things that you can do on the podcast. But the main way to support us is to subscribe to the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast YouTube channel. And that's the best way to support us and help us grow and develop as a podcast. And we're hoping that this Ashes summer, we can definitely do that. But we can't do that without your support. So think about doing those good things, and also follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. We're on there as well, Spotify, Apple. Make sure you catch the podcast there as well. Once again, thank you, Jihan, for joining me today as we talked about this first Ashes test from Perth. Very interesting to hear your thoughts on the day. as we summarized day one of this Ashes series. And thanks everyone for watching and listening to this live stream as well. Until next time, keep safe and bye for now.